Hey y'all, it's something that I will get really good messages from God when I look a hot mess. I guess this is a thing of, I don't know. I don't know. But the download that I got, and don't let my hair and what I look like be a distraction. At least y'all can smell my breath. It doesn't stink. Anyway, the download that I got was, I don't know if some of you all have been noticing that I have been promoting Abstinent Lives Matter, not just the shirts and the hoodies that I have, but abstinence as a whole, because that's the platform. That's the mission that God has given me, to use my platform to promote abstinence for Him. And one of the things that He showed me was that there are people who not only have a problem with what I'm talking about because they don't want to let go of that side of their flesh. But I don't want you to box yourself in and feel like you're exempt from going through your life to see what things that you need to abstain from. Yours may not be sex. It may be something else. But this is the golden nugget that God gave me. You need to think about the things that you do. And I'm going to speak on sex since I'm charged to talk about abstinence in that regard. God doesn't want us to do that before we get married through the ceremony, right? How do you feel if you have children when you give your child a rule to follow, a principle that's really going to look out for them? It's not because you're being selfish. It's going to look out for them. And they don't do it. How do you feel? And what do you do when they don't do what you ask them to do? You may correct them, or you may let it slide. One time because you're assessing. That's the same thing as grace. But you know how sometimes parents will say, I'm going to get you for the old and the new, right? That's because they've given so much grace. And then when they get you for the old and the new, now you in mercy. Because they still got to give you a consequence because you've been riding a wave of grace that you may not have known that you've been riding. Oh, come on, this is good. It's the same way with God. We don't get away with things from God. That's why Psalm says, grace and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Because people play with grace. And then they want to, when they get in mercy. You think you ain't supposed to have no consequences? So it's just best for us to do what God has requested of us. And that's to follow the guidelines and the principles in the Bible. And see, that takes some working. Y'all, I had several falls in several areas that He's like, give me that, before I got it right. And there are other things that He's working on, but He can trust me with abstinence because He can trust me with my flesh. He can trust me with not smoking. He can trust me with some other things that I've fallen in, but now I've gained strength in because His grace is sufficient. I love y'all. God loves you best. Hug yourself for me.